The Robinhood Roth IRA. What's going on, guys? Welcome on into today's video. We're going to be walking you through how to create and set up your Robinhood Roth IRA or your Robinhood retirement account here on the Robinhood platform. We're on the Robinhood website. You can obviously do this on your mobile device if you'd like to. Bigger screen makes it easier for us to do a video like this. And so I've actually not opened an account, so I'm going to do it live for you here and show you and take you step by step through all the steps you need to fill out and cover and give you what you need to know so you can get set up and do this yourself. No, real quick, I do want to mention this. When it comes to the Robinhood Roth IRA, this is apparently the only Roth IRA with a match. They're matching like 1% of what you put in. So if you can max out your Roth IRA, or you can max out your Roth IRA, for example, with $6,500, they will pay you $65 or essentially give you $65 of free money, credits, extra cash, whatever you want to call it, to match, your IRA. So kind of cool. And this does not count towards your deposits and towards your contributions to your IRA. So that's cool. So you can still do the full max to the ability that you can max out your Roth IRA, which this can change with time. This number probably will go up over time, as $6,000 becomes less and less important or less and less meaningful, in 10 years, right? This number will probably go up. And then after you're over a certain age, there are abilities to up that a little bit as well. So that's kind of all the hype that's going on. You don't need an employer. You're going to get a 1% match kind of no matter what. And there's a bunch of other things that you can do inside the Roth IRA. So let's go ahead and set it up. So I'm on my Robinhood account logged in. I got some option positions right here. Most of these are just covered calls that I sell on some positions that I have to cash flow a few extra bucks every month in the portfolio. Some of these are other option strategies, but nothing too crazy here, to be honest. Okay, go to the retirement section in the top right. Click on that, and here it is, the only IRA with a match. Nice and juicy. So you can kind of go through and look through, some of their stats or some of the things that they talk about, but short things, keeping things short. The reality, if you're not familiar with this type of stuff, really everyone should have a Roth IRA or should have an IRA and should be contributing to the IRA to the best of their ability, because especially if you're younger, you're in your 30s, you're in your 20s, and obviously it doesn't matter what age, but the younger you are, the more compounding you can do over time. And obviously the more money you can have, 25, 30, 40 years down the road, really without, having to do a lot of work, obviously. So let's go ahead and get started. Click on the Get Started button. Here's where we get to choose an IRA. I'm going to go with a Roth IRA, okay, in this example, but I could also create a traditional IRA. It really comes down to what you are looking to do. If you wanted to ask Robinhood or compare the IRAs, this is for a different type of video, to be honest with you. But for me, what I like more about the Roth IRA is this is essentially an account that takes into account that you've paid taxes on your income, and any money that goes in here, right, you can now trade, invest, whatever you want to do with it. And if you make money, you're not paying taxes on those gains, okay? So if you take money out prior to being 59 and a half years old and before it's been at least 5 years since you first contributed to a Roth IRA, there can be penalties. So these are things that you have to take into account. But obviously, starting early, or let's say even you're 50 years old, right? Just start putting money in an IRA, and there's going to be a major tax benefits on that money that you've invested when it comes tax time or when it comes to realize those gains. So I don't want to pay gains off of long-term investments or long-term strategies and long-term positions that I have, or pay taxes on those gains. This is a great way to do it, especially not to mention if you are a trader or whatnot. A lot of traders, very, very small percentage of them, who are consistently profitable, will trade sometimes in their Roth IRA and be like, hey, if I just make money in my Roth IRA, I don't got to pay taxes on it. Now, obviously, it's a kind of delayed gratification type of deal, but it's something to think about. So it comes down to this. Ultimately, select the IRA that works best for you. I would do more research into them. Personally, the Roth IRA is what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so here are some more things to pay attention to. When it comes to, there's an income phase out rule. So there are some rules that you need to be kind of aware of when it comes to contributing to Roth IRAs. There are some income limits, so I would make sure you are familiar with some of these things before you kind of get started in jumping into a Roth IRA, because of course it's not like this perfect, easily, oh, if I make millions of dollars a year, I can just deposit all this money in. It's not as easy as you may think, but for most people, for the vast majority of people, this is almost a surefire way to have a massive nest egg come retirement time. Okay, so here's some more things to just be aware of when it comes to the Roth IRA. They give you that withdrawal rule right here. So you can contribute anytime. Earnings are penalty and tax free after 5 years and age 59 and a half. So let's say you're 50 years old. You just start your Roth IRA today. 5 years down the road, or let's say, 9.5 years down the road, you could now pull out those earnings from your Roth IRA tax free, which is sick. That's awesome. So that's one of the cool perks about it. Okay. Here we go. No waiting, no cost. Goes through kind of all the different things. Instant is optional. You can turn off all these different settings on Robinhood. So it's kind of just like a Robinhood account almost in a sense. There is limited margin. And if you turn off instant deposit, it'll take about 1 to 5 days to trade with new deposited funds. So make sure you're kind of interested. Obviously, I can create the active IRA instant, or I can go no thanks. I'm going to go, yeah, sure. I'll create the active IRA instant. Interested in trading options in your IRA will help you enable options a bit later. They give you some more interesting, or at least some more things to be paying attention to. All earnings have a tax-deferred or tax-free growth potential, access to level 2 strategies, trade calls, covered calls, puts, cash secured puts, and more. So you don't have like the full access to all the different option strategies, but you have access to level 2 options. And of course, on Robinhood, there are no commissions. I will take that. Okay. So here we go. Go through the summary. They have some more documentation you can pull through and look at. I would highly recommend you do so. Obviously, most people are not going to read through those forms, but to be honest, it's pretty standard stuff there. It's nothing crazy that you're going to kind of get caught up in. So if I go through this and review the whole thing, I will now skip through this and catch you on the next page. Congrats, you're ready to invest for your future. Thanks for opening an IRA through Robinhood Retirement. Just got the email notification on my Robinhood account. I'm going to click on continue. And just like that, my friends, I have opened a Robinhood Roth IRA. Now, one thing to note too is that you can have multiple IRAs with different brokers, which I actually currently do. Because I kind of like Robinhood and the ease of use of the platform, like I might actually start contributing more money here. But you can have different IRAs with different accounts, different brokers. Just have to make sure that you can't go over that $6,500 max contribution limit each year, okay? So let's say you're somebody who makes, whatever amount of money from a job and you have a couple $100, or let's say a couple $1,000 or $1,000 left over at the end of the month, and that's kind of your fun money, your investment money. It is what it is. I would highly recommend you try to max your Roth IRA. So do that number every month, right, of what that needs to be. So for example, that $6,500, if you take that $6,500, you divide it by 12, that's going to be about $542 that you could have it set, or you can set as an automatic deposit onto your Robinhood Roth IRA or your Roth IRA in general. And then if you do that every month, that'll hit your max contribution, okay? Robinhood will 1% match all of your deposits and all of your contributions, which is pretty cool. And now you're maxing your Roth IRA, and you're going to have about $6,500 every year flowing into this thing that you can let just sit cash for now until you find an investment that you want to play, or buy an ETF, buy some dividend stocks. There's a lot that you can do once you have your Roth IRA set up here on Robinhood. Now, there's a lot more we can kind of dive into in the future, but here's how you set it up. It's very, very easy to do. You don't really have to do any forms, crazy stuff once you have a Robinhood account, okay? So if you already have one, you're set up. You don't have to really worry too much. This becomes more complicated if you have no Robinhood account, and then you have to go through the traditional account setup process as it is. So the next step would be contribute if I wanted to contribute. It'll save all my my deposit data or all my bank account stuff that I have from my Robinhood account, and I can easily contribute right there, and they track everything here under the retirement tab on the Roth IRA. Go to the settings tab. You can find a lot more information, investing, transfers, beneficiaries, history, all that good stuff, tax center, support, account numbers if you want to withdraw, if you want to transfer in an external IRA over to Robinhood, if you want to roll over a 401k, if you want to start a conversation or open another Roth IRA, if you want to open a traditional instead of a Roth, I'm not saying another Roth, I want to open a traditional instead of a Roth, or want to open both, you can go ahead and do that under the settings tab. If I were to go down to the investing section right here, so this is showing me now, I have two tabs. So underneath, there's a Roth IRA tab, and there's my brokerage tab. So I currently have a 0 portfolio value. I have a $1,000 instant deposit limit, and I can have all my information kind of set up right here. Day trade tracker, all of that great stuff inside of my Roth IRA. And then of course I can go back to my brokerage account page right here, which is kind of like my traditional Robinhood account that we started this video on. So any links, resources, if you want to check out Robinhood, get signed up if you don't have an account, there will be a link down below. Outside of that, this is how it's done. Hope this video helped you guys out. Make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. Thumbs up button. If you have any other questions, we can certainly dive into some of those in the future as I start building this out and start using this more as I start depositing some money here into my Robinhood Roth IRA.